All right, let's do this. I'm far gone. I am out there. I am a radio DJ in my wood shop. I'm still happy. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. That's how you need to think that way. I mean, imagine, I don't think kids these days can think that way. I don't think they can. I mean, I'm sure they still get that, where you got some guy standing in your front yard, some other kid in your front yard saying, hey, you talked to my girlfriend. Or, hey, I paid you to do my homework and I still failed the test. That kind of thing, maybe. I don't know. And so now you got this guy in your front yard, this kid. They probably still do that. Don't get me wrong. But not like it used to be. We used to hide, when we were real young and we had a big bully, because, bullies, it's strange. Back in the day, teachers, they just would see bullies doing their thing. And I think they enjoyed it. Now they got to act like they hate it. Act. Yeah. But, you get that little smart mouth kid and you're just only hoping a bully probably smacked that kid around, I bet. Yeah, I said it. I was that kid probably at one point, for sure. For sure. But I never really got bullied. I stood up to a bully once, and then I kind of backed down after I stood up to him. But like a bully when I was a little kid. And then after that, you just start fighting. And then it sorts itself out. And then you got kind of guys that are really tough. You got kids that are kind of tough. You got kids that aren't tough but don't take any shit. Those are always the scariest kids for people. Because, bullies or anybody would go up to those ones, the kids that didn't give a shit. Yeah, they'll just fight you if that's what's got to be done. And they don't even know the cause or the reason, but they'll do it just in the name of that's what's got to happen. And even when they're not tough, they still fight with heart. And they still have a good chance of messing you up. Yeah, because even back then when I was young, I was doing the stats. Because I wasn't that tough. I unfortunately had to, not unfortunately, it was probably fortunate, but I lived the first 5 years of my life, 6 years or so in Florida. And then I lived 2 years in California, then 1 year in New Hampshire. Then I lived in West Virginia, Steel Valley, brothers. That's where it all goes down, kids, when you're a kid. And I got there right when I was about 10. And that's right when it's time. That's rite of passage. Fight your way to the top. It's like Thunderdome going on right there in your school. Kids fighting everywhere. And really, nobody knowing we're fighting. It's like Fight Club. It was crazy. Man, you get your butt whipped. It's how you got your butt whipped. It was like, yeah, Rich got beat up, but that son of a bitch showed up on time for that fight. Yeah, and then when it was time to swing, he swung, and he landed a couple. He didn't win, but man, did you see the heart of a tiger, heart of a lion in that kid? I don't think I want to mess with him. That had to be your goal. When you weren't, hey, parents out there right now, parents, listen to me. You got a kid that's, in that range, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, getting ready to go to the Thunderdome. That I like to call that middle school. That's the Thunderdome. In West Virginia it was. 5th grade to 8th grade. And then high school too. 5th grade to 8th grade, you're firing. You're throwing. Now I'm there and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? Because I don't like to fight. But I'm gonna have to. Now, how am I gonna do this and get through it without getting creamed? Well, I started doing the numbers. I looked around. I saw people, and I would say, hey, man, wow. The other day, Jerry and Steve got in a fight out by the dumpster, out behind the shop class. Yeah, it was, it was crazy because everybody thought Steve was much tougher than Jerry. But Jerry, he was an animal. He went primal. That was weird. That was scary. I'm not messing with Jerry. Yeah. Jerry's scary. And nobody ever knew that until he had to fight Steve. And then Steve, he was a pretty good football player. So that everybody thought, man, Steve's going to be real tough. Linebacker. And he was, but he didn't piece Jerry up. No, he didn't give him a 3-piece with the side and a Coke to go. He didn't do it. So now the dynamic just switched on the playground. Now you got Jerry walking with the swagger. Jerry's coming to himself. He's coming to age. Yeah. Now he's thinking about doing the push and shove. It's his time. You never know. Now you're dealing with Jerry, and you thought Jerry was cool. Now he's kind of a prick. We're doing this shit in 5th grade, people. What are these kids doing now in 5th grade? Corn. Yeah, I would be too. The corn is strong out there. It's too easy to find corn. I lived in California when I first had my dose of corn. Yeah, and it was interesting. I had a little buddy neighbor. Me and him were buds. And his name was Eric. And I go, hey, Eric, I just went to the bathroom in your dad's house, man. Because his parents were divorced. 1977. California. Of course. And he goes, you saw it, didn't you? I go, yeah, I saw it, Eric. I go, I think we can get it out the side of the window. You go to the bathroom, pass it out to me, and we're peeping that book. Yeah, I was part of the problem. Now, we're on the side of the house, right? 2 houses over from my house, in a cul-de-sac in California. I'm on the side of the house. This is like maybe a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Eric's dad's on afternoon shift. So there ain't nobody else in his house anyways. We're peeping a Playboy on the side of a house. We're about ready to go 30 pages in this son of a bitch. We're going to check it all out. We might even read. Yeah. We might even read the cartoons. I had to definitely validate what I meant by read, because we sure as hell weren't reading the articles. But we stopped to read a cartoon that day. Now, we're whispering still. We don't know why. We're like, check this. What is this? What is this? Our minds are blown. It's the best day of our lives for a minute there. Then all of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder. It's my mom. My mom had corn spidey senses. She knew her kid was looking at corn. Yeah, she knew it. I bet she's 2 houses over. She was rambling around the house saying, where's my son at? She just had the sense. She didn't know exactly where we're at. That sense didn't have vision. It just had this, I don't know, man. It was like a radio frequency she picked up on. She heard my whispers round the corner, 2 houses down, me and Eric peeping some boobies. And next thing you know, she's getting radio frequencies, mom frequencies. Yeah, that's how it worked back in the day, folks. That was parenting. She taps me on the shoulder. I'm on the side of Eric's house looking at a pornographic magazine. Yeah, pornographic. I'm looking at this son of a bitch. I'm in heaven. I probably had a little 1.5-inch boner, right? Yeah, and I'm thinking we are in the safety of God's hands. And I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's my mom. I don't know what you do, because I don't know what I did. I have no idea. I'm sure my mother handled it very civil, but I think I blacked out. I hazed over. Next thing you know, I'm grounded for a day or two, and there was no talk of it after that. I don't even think she told my dad. My mom was cool like that. She understood young boys are going to want to look at corn, but she couldn't stand by idle and let it happen on her watch. She stopped it. And she probably had a conversation with Eric's dad. I don't remember. I mean, I was only 6, 7 years old, 8 years old max. You know what I mean? But yeah, That's how Gen Xers had to look at corn when you're a little kid. You had to smuggle a magazine out in your pants or in your shirt so that you and your buddies could go look at it in the garage. And you were on high alert. You had stations. You had a 360-degree perimeter with your buddies watching, coming in, circling in, rotating in on shifts, checking the corn out. That's how you had to do it. Now, they got a cell phone, and they just type in boobies. And they're seeing full hardcore corn. I would be a degenerate today. I would be a lost soul if I could see the things that these people do in corn. I don't know how I got the corn, but I'm there.